Hey, honey. How y'all doing this morning? A long time. That is true. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, I am Dr. Hildiah Martin-Suggs. I am the founder and the CEO and the president of the all-male organization, Almost Lost in the System Incorporated. I've been educating, mentoring, and advocating and providing services for people in the community for over 25 years. Also, I launched the organization, so I'm going to be a big brief. You can check out more, because even when people ask me to kind of like condense my bio, I really don't like to read my bio and talk too much about it. I always tell everyone to visit our website at www.almostlostinthesystem.org because I've accomplished so much, and even on the website, my bio is condensed and it's still alive. So I'll just be brief. I am not only a state of Georgia criminal justice and civil rights leader, a youth advocate and a male advocate, but also on a national level and soon to be on an international level. And the organization was actually created for the youth boys and the young men. But as Ms. Minister Barbara Perry, she just stated, we've been partners for a very long time. She basically advocates for the girls and the youth, the youth girls and the women. And so we kind of like partner because of that, because she wanted to kind of like mirror the infrastructure that I actually created for the youth boys and young men. And basically, our mission for the organization is to advocate for the youth boys and the men who are affected in the criminal justice, civil rights, the behavioral health, mental health systems, the school to prison pipeline, and many other systems that's affected with their families, and not just them, but we do help youth girls and young women too. So we don't turn anyone away, even though we created an organization for the youth boys and young men, because we don't have that many advocates advocating for the male species. So that's why I created the organization. And so the different committees that we do have, and we're in the process of solidifying our very first building. So at this time, we're calling these future departments committees. And for many years, we called them committees. So it's communication, membership, criminal justice reform. We have a next generation lawyers committee, which our lead attorney, of course, is Viavi Lamar. For that committee, we have some other attorneys that's on the committee. Attorney Tessie Edwards, she's more on the side of the family law. And then we also have another attorney who was actually the former chief prosecutor for Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office. His name is Attorney Darrell Mann. So at this time, he's on the defense side now, where he launched his own law firm. And we have other attorneys that we do reach out to, where if our attorney isn't available, we resource the families out to those attorneys as well. So for prison reform, we have that. Youth development, we have a youth development director, of course. For our next generation outreach, that's where Minister Barbara Pierce, her company, Martin-Suggs, which is Dr. Susan from the Stevenson. Also with SMASH, we have, of course, Mr. Johan Martin, and we have many more other organizations that I have not mentioned that are partners with our organization that will be actually and have been actually assisting us with the next generation outreach. And then for behavioral health and mental health and also health, we have partnerships with different licensed clinicians, different nurse practitioners, and all of that. So when we do get the building, we have all of these people and their companies on the actual campus who will be able to assist our members and families in the community. And then, of course, we have a bondsman committee. We've never really activated that committee because we're in the process. We've been fundraising, so we haven't actually met our projected budget that's for the entire organization. But once we do, that department will be activated as well. I'm not going to get into full details of the infrastructure of that department, but we do have crime prevention, police reform, where we are partnered with Clippers and Cops organization. So the CEO and the COO and the members of that organization, we've been partnering with them for many years, of course, where they will be assisting us with those departments, and they have been assisting us when we activate those departments when we have forums. And when they have forums, we actually partner and assist their organization as well by participating in their forums and everything. And then we do have a performing art. We have our filming and production. Our director, Kenyatta Snipe, of course, he's over that department. He has his own production, and he just launched his own TV channel as well, where that'll be live streaming as of yesterday, I believe it started, if I'm not mistaken. Yada Vision TV as well. So that's just a brief. I haven't even really studied everything and all of that, everybody that's a part, but that's just a brief introduction.
Wow, that was awesome. That was interesting. Now we have Mr. Dana Hines is on here also with us, and he was going a little bit, and I was hoping that you were on the first to get something and focus to his story. And he was actually talking about something that getting incarcerated, and how it happened. And I wish that he would probably do something to you because he's the person that you're trying to help, okay?
Okay.
That was almost watching the system. And so, Mr. Can you introduce yourself? And I'm sorry to ask you this again.
Yeah, I'm Dana. Certified the person from the Ministry of Sin. My mother moved before my daughter. I was about 9. Single parent home. She gave the best that she could. Gave us the rules, told us right and wrong. But because of peer pressure, being politically stuff with that nature, I got caught up in doing the wrong thing. Got caught up in the crime, drugs, stuff of that nature. Ended up going to prison a couple of times. And just bad too. So now, being that I'm a free man, I try to better me. Okay?
It's kind of like, everybody will go through almost walking the system, and I'm thinking that's what that is rehabilitation, getting people back out into the system. Am I right, doctor?
Yes, Minister. So where are you located now, Mr. Hines?
I'm in San Diego, Florida right now.
Are you in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you seeking assistance? What are you doing now? How long have you been in society?
I'm working on 2 years right now.
Okay, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You've been out for 2 years. Okay.
I'm sure it sounds from your story, Mr. Hockey, that it's when you've been through, made you a better person, and you're motivated to be better each day at a time, and you're an inspiration.
So,
Have you thought about, Mr. Hockey, I'm sorry, have you thought about like being a mentor for the youth, for the young people? That's a good question.
It's a very good question. Actually, before I was incarcerated, on the last bid, I was one of the group focused to the business, and we had to work with youth. Um, but I don't know what actually happened with that organization. But yes, I would love to, because I believe that there's too many times that we give up on it. And I had that conversation with a couple of brothers while I was in. It was like, man, it's just crazy. I didn't really thought that. That's nice because we wasn't in the household being involved in the business. Because of whatever the glorifying the things that they that was wrong. But as soon as something happened to them, then, it's a whole new story. So I definitely feel that we
That's right. And all of us in the situation is very good to us, especially girls rocking the house. In 23, Dr. Hildiah, she set up a program, a youth accident. The pandemic did a lot for us when they were able to do things online now, when she was Zoom or Teams or whatever. And what she did is she set up a camp for a whole week online. And she got all these people to come in and talk about schools through the pipeline, mental health, racial opportunity, anti-bullying. She had somebody every day that came on and talked to you for a few hours to make you feel open. I said they were excited about it. And she had some guests that came on and picked up like school supplies, like book bags and stuff like that. And so she was very good at it. And I asked you that sometimes we have to plug into other organizations that are doing this, right? And help them help us. And that's what all of us has been doing this in England, that they support us, help us, and they give us the tools that we need to make our kids productive. So I want to say that, Dr. Guy. And you've traveled the world many times for us.
yes, and I'm excited, Minister Pierce, because with this new building, when you see the performing arts, I know I shared the videos, but I was like a bitty ant inside of there. And I'm like, oh my God, you and the girls is like the first that I thought about. And I'm like, oh my God, when Minister Pierce see this performing arts area for these youth, and, because, I'm 42 years old, I'll be 43 years old in 2 months. And so I started performing arts at 7 years old. And before I transitioned into the criminal justice and civil rights field, I was actually in the performing arts. I also was an upcoming female rapper many years ago. I did everything. I starred in a movie before. I starred in stage plays before. I attended college for performing arts and everything. So that was like that was my dream. That was my passion, to become a successful actress, hopefully a successful artist one day. But of course, my son ended up in the situation, and I had to sacrifice my entire life. And when I say not only just my profession, with me owing all these student loans with the different colleges, I'm a certified female actress and model. I graduated from John Casablanca, so I did vocational training there. I did some female modeling for them, promotional work for John Casablanca, and I just did some great things. So this was my dream. But my son, who was 14 years old at the time, facing a life sentence for a rape that he did not commit, I had to realize it's not about me. When you become a mother, you have to be willing to sacrifice. And so when I knew at the time that I couldn't get the help that was needed, I knew I had to sacrifice not just my career, but also, and I'm going to be honest, my sex life. So for a long time, I became celibate. Because I felt like, okay, if I'm reaching out to God to help me save my son from a life sentence, I have to stop doing that. I know what God don't appreciate me doing. And so I had to sacrifice my sex life. I had to sacrifice my comfort of my living space. So I became homeless. I was sleeping in my car at different restaurants, different hotels, on people's couches. I had to give up my living space. I couldn't pay rent. I was divorced. I didn't have no mate to help me. It was just me. And I wasn't about to human traffic my body, to pay attorneys, to help me with my son. So I knew I had to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything. So I could pay these attorneys that I hired, which I paid $30,000 for my son's case, for the attorneys to represent him. Then I was the investigator on the case. So I proposed the investigation where I assisted not only my son, but his co-defendants with a second chance. And then so in the midst of helping my son, I became an advocate immediately. I can never thank the NAACP
Yeah, I was
enough.
gonna say we were in there with you a lot. We were there with a good idea and nice talking about what you were doing with fun going backwards and forward and we did a lot of discussion about it. So
Yes, a lot of footwork where y'all sat in the meetings with me. I would never forget the leaders from that time and also this time, just any time, or just people in the organization, because in the organization throughout the state they were sharing it. It was activists at his trial as well too. Like people was just waiting, they was just there. We needed that support system. My former church, Victory Henderson Mill, which is in Buford, Georgia, they helped me on the spiritual side because I was just like willing to sacrifice just everything. So I needed that moral support. So Victory Henderson Mill was there for my moral support. So just to touch base on that a little bit, I know I got a little sidetracked on
I'm gonna
that.
hold you for
But
1 minute. We're gonna go on sponsors and we'll come right back. Okay?
yes, ma'am. I love jazz, Minister Hill.
I put you up this time, but
I know.
But I want to ask you, also was a civil rights leader because you were some of the justice here for ACC. And I know that all these ties it together, so especially almost watching the system, so I kind of don't do a lot with that. But also, you was a very influential as Ahmaud Arbery.
That's correct.
Yeah, and
That's
talk a little bit about that, because we had Brunswick quite a few times with that. Talk a little bit about that, because that was one of the people that really was giving all the information.
okay. So before the family case, which is the Ma Arbery family case, got on the news, because I am the former criminal justice state chair for the NAACP for this entire state. I even wrote the criminal justice agenda for the NAACP. That was being, and it still is being pushed on a national level, by the way. So when the Brunswick Grant was unable to get assistance in justice for Ahmaud Arbery, the criminal justice chair and the president actually reached out to state conference. So the family as well, the case didn't get to me yet. What got to me, and I'm going to be honest, was, which she is currently my organization board of director, and she's the secretary of our organization now, one of my Arbery's aunties, which is Director Carla Arbery. So when so when Miss Phil Wanda Brooks, which is another aunt of Ahmaud Arbery, and Director Carla Arbery wrote me, Miss Toy Hines, who is the former office, what was she, like an office assistant or something for the entire state conference. She received a letter from Miss Phil Wanda Brooks and Director Carla Arbery, and she called me immediately. So when she called me immediately, she was reading her letters to me. She told me that the former president, Reverend James Woodall, will be calling me, and we will have a discussion, because I specialize in murder cases, by the way, homicide. I could actually work a homicide case with my eyes closed. That's my specialty. Drug and deadly
I just want to stop you right there, because just in case our guests or our co-hosts don't know who Arbery was, can you just talk a little bit about what happened, how we got to that point?
Okay, so Ahmaud Arbery is the young man. I believe he was 25 at the time, Minister Pierce. He was chased down by several Caucasian males who highly profiled him as a criminal, who accused him of breaking into a home that wasn't even really a home yet. They were still building. It was construction. It was crazy. It wasn't even a toilet in there, by the way. So it wasn't ready. They chased him down and killed him. Shot him. And he died. And so he did fight for his life. We've seen it. The video, one of the defendants actually shared the video and thought it would help him in case it didn't, because that's evidence. So we all seen the evidence, of course, and that's how it started. And so then they reached out to me. I took on the case. I drove down. Me, former President Reverend Woodall, Crystal Greer, I believe she was the former communications director, and then someone from my communications team for the NAACP. Us four drove down there to meet the family. The men were still free. So they were out for probably a little bit over a month. No arrest at all. So we went down there, we spoke to the family, the father's side and the mother's side, because it's my specialty, of course. I told the family everything that these men will be charged with, because this is what I do. So I took it back to the former Gwinnett County District Attorney, Danny Porter. So his entire administration, we worked behind the scenes, he assisted me with this case, because I was working in that office at the time as his special investigator. So I asked him to assist me to do justice. I showed him evidence of videos I had when I was down there, because I kind of like recorded how everything looked from my perspective, and told him what the family told me in the whole scenario. So he worked behind the scenes with me to have the case moved to Cobb County. I wanted it moved to Gwinnett because I worked in that office. It was a conflict of interest. So he requested on my behalf and the NAACP behalf to have the case moved, which Attorney General Christopher Carr assisted with that, and the case was moved to Cobb County. So that's how the case got to Cobb County. And we spoke with Attorney Crump, and where we were able to get him to help the family, because they still needed a civil rights attorney, because I don't have a bar number, so I can't represent anybody. Yes, ma'am.
It was amazing, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But it was amazing because I was able to do it with you guys to see you guys actually see the performance that you did for the
Yes,
all
ma'am.
dressed up in orange and the orange t-shirt and everything like that. It was so fascinating. And then to come with all the ministries joined there together, that was really Sharpton and
Oh, yes.
Paul and
Oh, my God.
it was totally awesome. And
Yes.
it was to walk in and come on and go with me, you know, and take my hand and we walked just to have all those
You talking about Pastor Bryant?
yes,
Mhm.
yes, the all Brian, and we just don't have all the people around the relationship it was just fantastic, a lifetime experience. I was there when Jesse Dexter,
Jesse Jackson.
and she fell out, you know, and so, and just stand next to Reverend Sharpton,
Yes, to see all of y'all dressed up, all of the ministers, the bishops. It was amazing.
That's the biggest day of my Minnesota life. That day. So yeah, you did a great job. You know, you dressed on for a little while in the picture.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, those pictures, man. I just wanted to talk about a little bit about all the
Yes.
stuff that historical. That was a
It
historical.
was a historical case. It still is. Because, you know, normally you hear about that, but for me to be living in this day, and I was born in 1983, so I come from a family of civil rights leaders. Where so to hear my nana and my aunties and my mom, uncles, and you know, talk about it, I was like, oh, I don't want to live. I'm glad I wasn't born in y'all days, you know. Get locked up with Dr. Martin Luther King, they were telling us that, and I'm like, I'm glad that wasn't me. And so to just actually be living in this, it was actually kind of scary.
Yeah, it was.
It was scary for me.
Mm-hmm. I was old enough to experience that, but they had the riots in Williamsburg, and I lived in Williamsburg to see that happen. So that was probably the first thing that I went through was, you know, historical moment. But yeah, it was just, I don't have any of our hosts here. We have anything that you would like to ask Dr. Bushadian. Anybody have anything on the edge?
Dr. Hildiah, this is a similar situation to what you were talking about in Decatur, Alabama. It was involving the police department. They went into a gentleman's house to repo that they he was sleeping for the night, and they went to his house and they tried to kill them. And are you familiar with that case? I think it happened about 2 years ago, and they had to take legal action on some of the police officers. But this particular police officer got away with the crime that he committed. Are you familiar with that case, or Decatur, Alabama?
No, sir, I do apologize, but you say 2 years ago, I was focused on a lot of cases. There's a lot of stuff that happens in Georgia. So if someone doesn't call me or reach out to my organization or another organization that's affiliated with mine or affiliated with me, I kind of like, I don't really listen to the news much. Yeah, because sometimes it don't be transparent enough for me, is what I'm going to say. Not saying that news reporters, it just depends. Just like here, it's only certain news reporters I will talk to because I know they won't change my story or the narrative. You get what I mean? So, to be honest, no offense to news, but I don't really watch the news. So, someone will have to contact me directly, and then I'm more so biased. What makes me biased is once I investigate something, then I could kind of see which way I could become biased or where I could be in the middle between the two. So no, sir, I'm sorry to hear that, but I haven't heard of that. So what happened with the case? What's going on now?
They had this police officer that shot this gentleman. They're letting him get away with what he got away with. Crazy stuff. But I also love the building that you were talking about. It sounds like all of the resources are going to be under one group.
Yes, sir.
You are a light. I just want you to know that you're a light to many, many, many people. You need it.
I want to take a break right now, guys. Let's go to our ads, and we'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
The art is going on right now. It's what we're saying here. And I'm just hoping everybody is what we're saying in the next 15 minutes or so. But if not, that is okay. So what we're going to do now is talk a little bit more about... Yes, okay, go ahead again. Okay, so we all know that, which pleasure lady, let me say that first, doctor. We all know that the system is set up so that so many young black men in particular can go into this prison system that they have set up as a business. And people make money off of our young people that go into these prisons and off of us, too, because we try to support them when they're in there. But my question is, with this school to prison pipeline, I've heard of it, and I just want, a little bit more details about it, because I feel, when I was in the school system, I studied for years, for school in my area, and I would see the young men, the good boys, basically, and I think to myself, they pick out a certain number of those little boys saying 7 out of 10 is going to go to prison.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to get your take on that. How do you feel about those things?
Okay, so the FERPA law is pretty broad, so I'm just going to be brief about it. So I study these laws, right? So we will start from that with the Board of Education, with the FERPA laws. So in some of those laws, how it's set up is where the parents give permission where they're over the kids, but if the parents don't know their rights and the laws, they're not going to tell their children they have a right to remain silent. So in those FERPA laws, if something happens, a youth have to speak with their coach, with their counselor, with their teacher, and everything. And then you have to understand, as parents and other leaders who have voted for law enforcement, which is school resource officers, to be inside the school. So I specialize in youthful offenders, right? So where the crimes that's taking place, youth are doing it not only at 13 to 17 years old, but now younger than that. Because it's 2 youth now that they said allegedly committed a rape and attempt murder, and they 10 years old. So now it's even getting younger if that's the case. So with some families that's in the school system, they're afraid of youth committing crimes to get their kids, as Minister stated, I'm against bullying, anti-bullying, and she is too. So I've been bullied before too. I've been jumped on many times by groups of girls in gangs, where, a gang actually jumped me and initiated me into their gang. But I was never an active gang member, you see? But they almost killed me. I ended up in the hospital. But they injured me internally. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to get in detail about that. So there are crimes that's committed, but if a youth did or didn't commit the crime, they're still entitled to, they have a right to remain silent. But if they don't know that, and that's what I educate youth about, and I've educated youth inside of the schools about it, now you're speaking to whatever you say to a teacher or your coach, that could get turned over to law enforcement now. So now law enforcement, it goes from now the school to the prison now. Because now it's a crime and the youth don't think that they have committed a crime. Bullying is a crime. So if a youth admits that I bullied a kid or I stole something, if you take something from somebody, that's theft. That's a crime. So it's like now you admitted to your teacher, yes, or you not telling your teacher, let me call my mom. So it's not me trying to help the youth cover up for any potential crime. But I tell every youth, whether they did something or not, you ask the teacher or the principal to call your mother and father. And then I'm going to tell you the bad scenario. Most of the parents is the reason why their kids go to prison from school to prison. Because now they come in the parent-teacher conference, you done admitted to your mother who's not even understanding because she may be on drugs, she may be anything, not competent to understand the laws and the right to tell you, baby, let me get an attorney and see how we need to move forward, or let me get a free consultation. So that's where our organization comes into place too. That everything is a potential charge or a case. So we as parents, not just leaders, have to look at life like this now, unfortunately. You know, nobody should be committing crimes or attempting to commit either. But this is life. You get what I mean? This is the society we living in today. So that's my take on school to prison pipeline, where now you touching your parents take you in the office to meet the principal and say, oh, I spoke to Keisha or I spoke to Bobby, and Bobby and Keisha said they did this. Then now the principal writing down, they don't even understand. They're working with the school resource officer, which that's what they're supposed to do. That's part of the FERPA law too.
So, Dr. Nick, I just want to add to that because I have a lot of experience in this on the school board. So when I was on the school board, you come in, something was found, nice or something was found in your locker or whatever, but it wasn't to the criteria. So what we have to do is decide on what we're going to do. Now, done something like that, you other got to do something with them.
Yep.
So what happens is we may suspend them for 10 days, and then that suspension comes on back. There's a lot of them work. They go out there and street and they get in trouble. The cops arrest them, and then they lock them up. That is a true meaning of school to prison pipeline. But they get tried to do something within the school system to keep them busy while they're being suspended. Now, not because you can have a program, I'm telling you, up and down or something like that, we down or whatever.
Yeah.
You remember that, right? So
Yes.
they would go to them and
That's right.
but guess what? The system doesn't want to make things right. So they actually got rid of that system, right? They got rid of them.
That's right. Uh-huh.
So what I'm saying is that because the teacher doesn't want to work with the parents or with the involvement and stuff like that, those kids got in street, don't have nowhere to go, but to get in trouble. So that is the true meaning of
School to prison pipeline. And that's why we will be launching our private preparatory school inside of this building, by the way. And then not only with, you know, the partners and all of us, we even have any programming where if you come into the facility, we will kind of like partner where it's being partnered in other counties as well, that the some of the resource partners is doing it right now, where they take their guns from the youth instead of calling the police on them and actually put them in a program. So in our school, it's way deeper. We don't have enough time to talk about it. But we will also have a private school, a preparatory academy inside of this building.
that is totally awesome. I'm going to go around again in a few minutes. I want to give you go our canvas first, and then I'm going to come back and give everybody the opportunity to close. Let's go our canvas.
Okay.
Very good. United don't take it very well.
Yay. Yay. He is so precious.
You're in college, right?
I know.
Well, yeah, that's totally awesome.
I'm proud of her.
Yeah. Now that we're back, we're going to let everybody get the opportunity to go to start off with our host question. Now we're going to let you start.
So I have a couple of questions, Dr. Hildiah. My first question is, I'm a young person. I just turned 20 in August.
Wow. For the NAACP?
No. I'm not working with NAACP yet, but
You the youth president for who?
but in church.
Okay.
And
Okay. Okay.
So I'm pushing to work with the young people, provide a young person. But one thing, you said to the son, I want to make sure that his health is good and what is he doing currently?
Okay, so far as my son has been released, he's been out for a year, going on 2 years now. The moment he was released, he actually graduated from one of Atlanta's top heavy equipment schools, which is Halliburton. So he actually has his certificate and diploma in heavy equipment for construction. And so, yay. And
And how old is he?
he's 24.
Oh, that's beautiful
Yes.
as well.
Yes, so he's still trying to lock in a position in that career field, so he do other work until, because that industry go up and down.
Right.
Yeah.
And something else you said, there's also a professional journalist that, being intuitive there, you said that there's something else you said, about becoming parents, especially in the day of time we live in, we live in the just a mess. Every time I hear a story, man, I know here in Texas it was another story, just this past spring, there was a young man, by Carmelo Anthony, said, a swing boy, on the football, on the track field in Plano, or Fritz or something like that.
I follow that story.
Yeah. And as a journalist, and as somebody getting an age bracket too, close to age with both of the young men, when I first heard them, organizations that they were reporting on, and then also just having my own network and listening to different things and listening to my courses, I heard too many different things on the first day. And having an investigative journalist background, I said something doesn't sound right. And then eventually, when the whole story came out, it came out that this young black man was defending himself. So, but still the media did not, give us a transcription report on that. So I do agree with you on that. I really think that these media organizations on a part of the propaganda machine, but unfortunately this is story.
What's her name again? Mr. Wesley. Okay, so President Wesley. I'm not going to get into full detail about Sandra Brown law, but what I will say, depending on taking the circumstances, I created an entire second chance program for the youth. Okay, so depending on the nature of the case and the circumstances and the youth background, everyone deserves a second chance. I don't have his full discovery, but based on, like you said, if you listen to the news, I started following it immediately when people tagged me in it. And so, with that being said, I heard different stories. I heard that he brought a knife. So depending on how prosecution disposition this case along with defense, going to just speak pertaining to the law. If you bringing a weapon with you, and a knife is considered a weapon, right? Whatever object you use to harm somebody, that's considered a weapon. So even in the previous, from my understanding, I heard they were friends. He was consistently getting into it with him. I don't know how true it is, but taking the circumstances with that, if it's any of that true, that doesn't mean you don't deserve a second chance, and that don't mean that the victim deserves to die. So if you have a knife and you get into a fight with somebody and you don't try to contact law enforcement, or you shouldn't be carrying that type of weapon, you're underage, first of all. That's really not a stand your ground law. Like, that wouldn't go into place because you kind of like, it was an afterthought. You brought that knife with you. If you felt like you were in danger, then you should immediately told someone. Is what because I'm big on crime prevention. Or you should have never even came to the game. Or if you kind of get what I'm saying. So yeah, he's not a grown man. He can't carry a gun. So now if he's over 18, depending on the laws in Texas, he can probably carry a gun. That if immediately this guy would attack him and he shot him, that's self-defense. Because now he's an immediate threat. You kind of understand where I'm going with this? But to actually bring a weapon with you when you are 16, 17, 13, 14, 15 years old, you know, that you're thinking about it. Yeah. So hopefully you get a second chance.
I agree with you. And I'm like,
So, we have a little bit more time. I know you probably have something else. Let's go back around, okay? Let's go. Gary, you have anything you want to ask?
Not to ask, but I did have a comment. When I was growing up in my younger day, people that used to commit crimes, they would, after they get confident of the crime, they would go they have to do community service, have to work for a nonprofit organization that they didn't clean up for whatever yard work, and that made them better people, and it made them rethink their crime. And I just want to say thank you once again to our guests for coming on today. You all are amazing, and thank you for what you're doing. I know that a lot of people that get lost in the system need a voice, and you all are that voice. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Ms. Canada?
I just want to thank you for coming and sharing. This is good information to know that you are out there trying to help people. And we need a lot of help.
I know. And that's why it's going to take all of us. I can't do it by myself.
Take a hard work.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
Mr. Hines?
Yeah, I have some, Doug spoke on, mental health.
Yes, sir.
And and that's something that not just in society, but also in the prison system.
Yes, sir.
Because from my experience, I went in as a young man. I went in one way and came out working what I was.
Oh, wow.
Right. Because I wasn't gonna let anyone take advantage. That was my thing. Okay. So it would send you into a perspective, not it would send you into a monster. So
Yes, sir.
mental health is something that a monster. Coming about the system. And even growing up in what we call the ghetto, the hood, whatever you want to call it.
Well, we're here for you. Whatever you need, you can reach out to us after this. So make sure you get our information. And whatever assistance you need, we will assist you. And if we can't directly, we will refer you to someone that can help you, okay? I won't ask you any questions on this live, but everything, all partners, everyone, they don't disclose any information. Everything is private. We have policies and procedures. I do not play that, okay? So you can reach out to me so we can get you the help or provide whatever services that you need, okay? Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hines. We're going to go to our announcements, and we're going to come back and close,
then, Minister Terry, and before we close, I would like to mention the 5 ways that anyone can donate to.
Okay, when we come back, everyone said, I was going to ask that when we came back and close.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Magazine and church. We're going all over the place, but
Well, the magazine is first, and Derek and I have talked up with that. Something to do with the magazine, so we'll have that done. So we're not going to put a date on that. We're actually changing some things to make it a company system. Not only just art, because everything is art. So yeah, we're working on that now. Let's keep updated. Okay, and also,
I like that.
we have children's church every Sunday, National Children's Church Academy, and we are doing a journey to teaching. Tomorrow, you start if you are on the Central Time, it will be 2 o'clock. If you're on the Eastern Time, it will be at 3 o'clock. You can call me. I will be putting anyone today.
Okay.
Okay, thank y'all. We celebrate breast cancer awareness, and that will be next week on this program. We all be wearing our pink t-shirts, and if you can order one, then wear pink shirts. We'll have people coming on talking about their religion. We'll have people doing poetry. We'll have artwork. It's going to be really, really cool for an hour. So please join us next week and see out.
Okay.
And there will be church.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get you one.
Yes, I won't go, so we can talk about it. Okay. I always thought it was Texas.
February, we have our third, my third hit in February, so that's already been known.
So we have a community anniversary in March, and that's going to be awesome because we'll be featuring the band from another Plant College, and we're doing a fashion show, a book fair. I mean, it's going to be totally awesome. We'll be going to Jordan, from Cooper Center, and we will come more out with this day on the next couple of weeks. So thank you so much for supporting us for this last almost 17 years of March, and that is awesome.
Beautiful.
I was a black for a woman that her man is getting that long. So, hey,
Proud of you.
they have you guys.
And then we know that this episode is control. We have multiple guests, and on episodes of this week, so come in doing it, and get up next week on the 25th. I can't believe October is not it.
I know, and so right now, what is very important about researching is that Dr. Hildiah and Martin-Suggs, right, will be talking about the fundraiser that they're having for their schools, that we definitely want to support them.
Okay. So, basically, I haven't touched base on everything because it's way too much. I created an entire business plan that's been written for many years now, maybe over 4 years now. I've written the business plan, the different programming, along with the resource partners and everything, in the entire infrastructure. I think it's about maybe 21 pages long, if not more. And so we are working towards our first building. Of course, it's in Clayton County. If you would like to give, there are 5 ways you can give. Via text, you will actually text to the number 53555. Text Elixir. That's abbreviation for Almost Lost in the System Incorporated. So ALITSI. Text that to the number 53555. There's not a set amount of money. Anything will do just if you contribute to it. Or you could give through the website givebutter.com, and then you can search Almost Lost in the System INC. Or you can send any cashier check or checks to us via mail, Almost Lost in the System Incorporated, at 260 Peachtree Street, Northwest, Suite 2200, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. And, or you can, or Cash App. Cash App. This is the fourth way. So it's $ almost lost and the SL. And it will go to our business bank account. We've had a business account since 2021. And then also you could give through, if you don't remember the Give Butter, you can go through our actual website, which is www.almostlostinthesystem.org. And just one more thing I would like to mention, because Minister Pierce will be assisting me with my very first book. And so, yes, I will be attending the March conference and everything. So yes ma'am. So my very first book will be launching January 8th, 2025. That's the day I made history for being the first litigation investigator that ever worked in the district attorney office, where I created a second chance program for the youth who facing life sentences from 13 to 17 years old, saving youth for life sentences. I also received my own day, which is for January 8th. I'm celebrated every year for that. And also I received a resolution as well that day too for my work, and a highest award that any citizen could receive in the state of Georgia for being an outstanding citizen. And the name of the book is What to Know When Facing Life in Prison as an Adult. So it's not just for the youth. I'm dropping gems in this book. I'm giving some of my second chance program gems away and everything. I'm telling you it's going to be a bestseller. It'll kind of equip you if you a bit sovereign and you're trying to represent yourself. If you can't afford an attorney, or if you can't, you can always reach out to Almost Lost in the System Incorporated too. So it's called What to Know When Facing Life in Prison as an Adult. Obtain knowledge of an expert youth mitigation specialist, because that's what I am, a youth mitigation specialist and a mitigation specialist, period. So as I stated, I don't only help the youth, I help adults as well. They're being charged with adult crimes. So that tells you right there. It's just easier for prosecution to be more lenient and deviate from the mandatory sentencing, of the SB 441, or if it's not the SB 441, or just a crime period, right? They help the youth more because they're not fully developed until they're the age of 25, and then they still not developed. Depending on, as you stated, I think it was Mr. Hines, when you in prison, depending on, and that's part of my programming, where I assist families with prison transfers. Because you never know, if you convicted, now you're down the road. The defense job is done now. Prosecution job is done. You're in the Department of Corrections. So depending on where they send you after diagnostic, that'll determine on your reformation. Are you really being reformed? So I could kind of relate to what you're saying. So that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, that's very good. I'm just going to go ahead and wrote all my notes down and everything. And I just want to go ahead and finish this commentary that lost in the system and lost in the justice system. It also refers to facilitating the connection of the legal process with the practice like administrative errors, a lack of legal representation, or systematic issues such as labor disparities and court backlog. This can result in wrong solicitation, unfair punishment, or being unable to
blessings, yes.
You guys have been fantastic, and everybody's going on and share this on everybody share, everybody has different friends, whether they're Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, so we want you to share it on everybody that's going out there, and if you have no money, then you can cut down and just give me a call, I'll take you to
Thank you,
whatever
Minister.
doctor guidance or anything or whatever, so that they can get the money in their business account, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And it's to benefit the community.
Thanks, Dr. Will.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime, reach out to us if you need any assistance, okay? And thank you, Minister Pierre. I love you too. Thank you. Bye. Yes, ma'am. I am. Let me disconnect my life.
Yeah, we're not on live anymore.
Okay.
So just make sure you go back and share it, so you can go back to page and share it, okay? Because we want as many people to use it as possible. Okay, guys, so let me know. I got to get out of here, but it was a great show, and we can do this again because we never do it too much, right? As soon as we do it, we'll just situate and so. As a matter of fact, this Bowen called me the other day and said, "Did you see the information online that Dr. Hildiah put on there about the building?" I said, "Oh, I know all about it." I said, "I know all about it." So
Yes, ma'am.
about that also, while we're setting up our tours for getting from another planet, definitely would like to see what people in the building and space or whatever, so we can talk to a full time and get like if you'll come in March, we would love to see one here in Atlanta. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's about it. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Let's go think about the book after you guys.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Okay.
You want me to remove